My name is Colin Hastings. I'm the Executive Director of the Pasco Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to welcome you to our August membership luncheon. It's featuring an update from the City of Pasco, particularly the Parks and Rec Department with Jesse Rice, the Director, and I want to thank Rob DiPiazza with and the Pasco Kennewick Rotary for sponsoring today's luncheon. Also want to give a shout out to Edison Valerio at State Farm for providing the prizes for those that brought in school supplies. So with that, I'd like to invite everyone to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, feel free to have your seat. I do want to take a moment and introduce any electeds that have joined us here today. Representing Dan Newhouse's office, we have Dallas Parr. Please help me welcome Dallas. Thank you for coming. From the City of Pasco, we have council members Dave Milne, Blanche Barajas, and I haven't seen Melissa Blaisdell yet, but she's supposed to be here as well, so please help me welcome them. And I know with STCU, but also the West Richland council member, David Sfetto, is supposed to be here, but I didn't see him, so maybe he's not going to be able to make it. From the Port of Pasco, we have Jim Klinworth, Port Commissioner. Hi, Jim. And then, where is Stu? There's Stu. Stu hasn't been around for a while, but I do want to introduce Stu, our Franklin PUD Commissioner. I haven't seen him for a while. Everybody was asking where you're at, so it's about time you showed up. Meetings. Okay, he's busy. It's an election year too, so he's been working. Thank you so much for attending today. Also want to take a moment and introduce Pasco Chamber board members and past presidents that are in attendance. Nick Punch with Numerica Credit Union, Tim Brigman with STCU, James Sexton with JMS Construction. Of course, Delt Clark is our president with Carpenter Drilling. You'll hear from him later. Edison Valerio, State Farm. I didn't see Dwayne. It would be hard to miss him because he's pretty tall. So Dwayne also is on our board. Norm Rummel and Christina Vieira. And then some of the past presidents that have joined us as well is Jason Hogue, Derek Brownson, Tara Wiswall. I didn't see Lance, but I did see Julie Killian. Let's all give them a warm round of applause and thank them for all their service. So a lot of you remembered that we're having our school supplies drive today, and if you forgot to bring anything today, that's fine. We have until the end of the month, August 30th, but you'll see that the barrels here throughout town. There are specific wish list items that you can find on the way out as well too. If you want to help donate to that. Even beyond that too, if there's just an option where you can provide we can invoice you for a cash donation, in which case then we'll buy the supplies as well. So if that's something you're interested in, please contact Kelly or Megan and we can get that squared away. I know last year we had really good success. I mean, it filled up our conference room how much supplies we had, and really to engage with the Boys and Girls Club and the Pasco School District for providing the artwork too. You can see some of the winners of the competition did an amazing job, and it's great partnering with them. So as I said, this is a nice reminder. It's not too late. You have until the end of the month to donate for those. And if you did donate today, Kelly should have given you a ticket for some prizes that we have. So we'll do that at the end of our luncheon. Also want to highlight a few events that are coming up. Crawfest, you didn't miss it. Last year and the last few years, we've had it in July. We haven't had it yet. We're having it in September. Hopefully the temperature will be much more pleasant than it has been the last few years in July. I mean, we were pushing 100 degrees all the time. So, but tickets are already on sale. We've already sold quite a few trays. It is free to attend, but if you want to get some crawfish or shrimp or both, I highly encourage you to pre-buy your tray. And the tray is pretty big. It's going to feed more than one person. But it's free to attend. We have a beer garden, live music, a really neat event to have, that real true Cajun flavor. And we have Buddy Bentz, who has been doing this a very, very long time, and his team of cooks do very authentic crawdad boil. So again, free to attend. Want to thank Bruce Heating and Air and Mechanical for being our premier sponsor this year. So happy to have them on board. They're going to actually take part, and this is going to be their employee summer get-together too. So we already have a built-in crowd of at least 100. So, and we've been averaging about 500 to 600 the last few years. So it could be big this year. And then not long after that is Riverfest. That's at Columbia Park, so that'll be October 5th. We have so many partners, I'm not going to list them all, just because it is really an important community event, a lot of engagement. We're expecting over 4,000 people again this year too, so if you have some kids for family-friendly entertainment, of course free, please head down October 5th. There's going to be a lot of activities to do. And then next month's luncheon is our annual meeting, and we're happy to announce that Eric the Peanut Guy, if you're not familiar with him, he is the director of community engagement for the Tri-City Dust Devils, but you'll know him at the Dust Devils because he's throwing peanuts all over the place, and he does an amazing job of engaging crowd enhancement. He also is, gives various different discussions and talks, and so we're going to have him as our keynote, so we're excited to have him be a part of the Sunshine Luncheon, and those tickets are actually will be on sale later today as well too. So it's our annual meeting. We give awards for that. We thank the board members that are maybe coming off, and then we introduce the new board members as well, and thank them for all their service. So you'll definitely want to attend for that. There's a discount for buying a table, and then you, as a table sponsor, you'll get recognized as well too. So I encourage all your companies to purchase a table of 6, and you'll save a little bit of money and you'll get some recognition. So be on the lookout for that. All right, that was a mouthful. It's time to move on with the program. And with that, I'm going to invite Delt to come up. We do have a new member here that we'd like to introduce. Her name is Christy Alanis with Flynn Beck or Flynn BEC. So if you want to come up, and I'm going to give her the mic so she can give a little bit of an overview as to what her company does.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm Christy Alanis with Flynn BEC LP. In short, we are building envelope contractors, if you're not familiar with us. We have been in the area over 25 years, formerly known as Cobra. So if you're into the construction world, that's our past name, but Flynn has been around over 40 years. We're based out of Toronto, Canada, and we have several branches throughout Canada, through the US, and my home base is out of Spokane, but we have been growing so much and in this area that we wanted to establish a home base, so we look forward to becoming part of this community full time. And our branch is tentatively scheduled to open around September 1st, so in the meantime, I'd like to meet everybody and hopefully give you my business card, and we could grow some partnerships one-on-one.
Right. Thank you. We're going to take a picture here too. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this is where I had. So we didn't have a luncheon in July, so I'm off my game. So now it's Delt gets to take us through the rest of the program with introduction. So with that, please welcome Delt Clark with Carpenter Drilling, the 2023-24 president of the Pasco Chamber.
You want your stuff? All right. Thanks, Colin. We'd like to thank PK Rotary today for their sponsor of today's luncheon, and Rob, as a representative, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Delt. So I'm currently the immediate past president of my Rotary Club. I've been a member for 16 years. Most fulfilling thing I do is give back to the community through Pasco Kennewick Rotary. Personal story is that I'm a small business owner, and I'm not a philanthropist because I'm a small business owner. But being a part of a organization like Rotary, I'm able to give back to the community in a lot of different ways, both financially through our fundraisers, which, by the way, I expect every one of you to come to the Elephant Ear booth at the State Fair again this year. 35 years, Rotary, this is our biggest fundraiser. So come get an elephant ear. And we use those funds to, this year we gave away $30,000 in scholarships to Chiawana, Kennewick High School, and Pasco High School graduates. We also gave away $7,000 in scholarships to the TriDeck graduates. Those scholarships actually go to help them buy whatever tools they may need in their trade moving forward. So, because they're not normally going to go on to another school after that. They're going to actually go out and make money immediately. So anyway, it's a really fun group of people. We meet on Wednesdays at Zintel Creek. Come have lunch. Your first one's on me. Well, it's on the club. But anyway, just come over and get to know us and find out a little bit more. Every Wednesday that we meet, we usually have a sponsor speaker, and they kind of tell us about the community. Most of them are nonprofits, and you learn a little bit more about them when they get 20 minutes to a half hour to talk to you. So, what else? Oh, hey, duck race season. I have duck race tickets with me. If you haven't bought yours yet, $10, cash or check. I don't have a credit card swiper. Sorry, kids. And they haven't elevated to the QR code world where you can go online and buy them yet. I think that would be a smart thing to do. But anyway, so that's about it. Thank you, and have a great lunch.
Thanks, Rob. All right, today's keynote speaker is Jess Rice, is the director of newly re-embarked Parks and Rec Department. Jess has served as a part of the city's technology development for over 25 years, including informational technology director. In April 2023, he was appointed interim administrator and community services director. Jess brings a unique combination of drive, innovation to the Parks and Recreation Department. His longstanding dedication to public service and his vision for community engagement make him the excellent fit for this role. Please help me welcome Jess to the stage.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure who that guy was that introduced me as me doing all those things, but I appreciate the opening of that. So yeah, Jesse Rice, Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Pasco. Prepared a presentation for today. It's the first one I've done for the actual overview of Parks and Rec, so I'm not sure if we're going to be here sitting in awkward silence in a couple of minutes or if you're going to be calling in late for lunch, but we're going to work through that. I do want to thank Alexandra Contreras. She's our recreation marketing specialist. She brought in all sorts of swag today. In addition, Ben Zygan, our animal shelter manager, who also brought in Dee Dee, our community outreach dog. So I appreciate them being here today and helping expand those things. Let's see here. All right, so a couple of first things first, because that's where we always start. This is not going to be as exciting as the NASCAR pit crew last year. Sorry, that was a pretty good presentation for those that made it. There's no video, there's no 8 seconds, there's no crashing into the wall and winning. So it works better that way. I have Angela Pachon here, our risk manager, and she prefers no crashing into the walls. So it's just kind of a standard practice. I haven't watched much of the Parks and Recreation thing, but I decided to continue the theme since we're here and play it along. And my wife thought this is actually the real size of my head anyway, so it's worked out. So. Let's see. So again, I did bring along Dee Dee. She's been a great addition to our Tri-Cities Animal Shelter. She does community outreach, visits the schools, goes to our events, some irresistible ears, as you can tell on her. So she's going to be leaving shortly. If you haven't got a chance to pet her, let her know. And her nose is kicked in. If you see her up front, she is looking for food. So. And then, of course, again, our table full of swag. If you happen to pick up one of these pocket knives, please scratch our logo off before you cut yourselves. We'd appreciate that. Did that cover that well, Angela? Yeah, so, all right. You're adults. Let's adult with these things, all right? So, yeah, years ago we thought it was a good idea to combine a pocket knife and a beer bottle opener, but, you know, here we are, so. Yeah, again, Dee Dee. However, for those of you who don't know, I do have a t-shirt cannon. How many of you have a t-shirt cannon? So this has been a great blast. We've added this last year. Red Lion's had these chandeliers way too long, so let's see what we can do. Adam, yep, coming your way. No, I think it's your way. No, it's your way. Get ready. Oh, no. So close. That's right. We also have these handy-dandy balls. So, if you need us to show up and help make your event better and get one of your logos on our swag, let me know. So. And carrying forward that Department of Fun, I also happen to have a mascot we introduced last year for our Winterfest with a heart 2 sizes too small. So if you followed along, that was me all last year. And you can see Angela's just thrilled. So that is me. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, this one. So got it. And this was a lot of fun. We visited several places, hit the Boys and Girls Club, out to the movie theater, out to, I think it's patented, but Shop with a Cop or whatever the program is that our officers shop with needy kids in the community. So all these things have kind of branded me director of fun. I think you've probably heard everything you need to do, but yeah, quickly, I've been with the city just about 29 years now. Started out as a work-study student at part of the CBC program. It was a Department of One plus a work-study student. Had the opportunity to get a full-time position and work through those all these years. Great thing about working in IT is that I can tell all of you to shut down and restart, and you just take it like it's a gospel. So a little bit harder in Parks and Rec to say that. But fortunately, again, working in IT, I was able to work with all the departments. So over that time, we worked with police, fire, recreation, really understand how the city worked. I think that's one of the components that kind of brought me to this position, because I can assure you that I'm not your typical Parks and Rec director. I don't have that experience. But I kind of fell into it. It took off. I think staff liked it. Council liked it. Thanks to Blanche Barajas, she entitled me the director of fun at a council meeting, and that kind of stuck through the last year. So most people kind of refer to that. And again, I don't do these things myself. We have a ton of dedicated staff. Alex has been with the city almost 20 years as well, 23 years. We have a ton of, Tony Johnson, our tournament coordinator, hired just a couple months before I did. So a ton of dedicated staff. So really what I've been able to do is encourage and motivate them, which they've been really waiting for years, to kind of develop into this Parks and Rec department, which resulted from two things. It was a realignment of services within the organization. We brought Adam Lincoln on, and he has a vision of how the city's going to run. And we'd also completed a new Parks and Rec open space plan, which recommended the creation of a department to focus on Parks and Rec and the community needs. So I think it was just very timely overall. I think my vision, and I've been stating it ever since, or what I ran with, is I think that for my vision, it's not the official one because I haven't involved the communications team yet, but as you know, we're really providing opportunities for the community that are affordable, accessible, and inclusive. And that's really what we do across all the divisions. And I'll try to tie that together as we go, but that's really the goal. Is when we're doing things or I'm working on things, I'm thinking, me as a community member, or my kids or my grandkids over the years, you know, what would they like to do in the community and how we do that so everybody can participate. And then last, it's a large department, so this is going to be a basic overview. Not sure how long it's going to go. I might skip some slides. Did try to work in some of the Parks and Recreation memes I thought were appropriate, so we'll start there. And I think we're going to start with probably this one. When you realize there's an entire department dedicated to fun and you're in charge of it. Fortunately, I do have somebody regulating that, the gal with my t-shirt gun. But But she did let me get it. I really wanted the one called the Bleacher Reacher, but we started off with the Micro Mini. So we do have upgrade options. They actually have a Gatling gun version I'm really hoping to upgrade to. 10-shot barrel, so. So Department of Fun, what's it made of? It's recreation, parks, I mean, that's in the title, right? Facilities, and then we also include animal services, which is where Ben and Dee Dee come from, back there in the corner still. And then our most recent addition, what I've been calling downtown, since that other organization has kind of went away, we've taken over some of those things too. So kind of have a standard presentation after this, but we'll go through and take a look at some of these different things. And this is true. Some days, due to the volume, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well. So, and I still think I can hit that chandelier if I get that gun back. So, I mean, what I didn't mention is I found out little cans of Pringles fit in that gun too. So, fine. This is how hard it is to be fun at government work. So. All right, so we'll start out with recreation services, which covers community outreach, programming, and things like that. So really 8 full-time recreation specialists, marketing and the manager, and we use a high volume of part-time seasonal staff as well, aides, coordinators, lifeguards. And they cover our activities, programming, and sports. And those include our swim lessons, enhanced fitness, pint-sized playtime, our after-school and summer school programs, our senior foot care, sports, both youth, or I guess I should say toddler, youth, adult, and league. I guess we'll go with that, as well as tournaments through volleyball, basketball, soccer, flag football. And then most of our special events, which is our Cable Bridge Run, our 4th of July event, Springs Extravaganza, Fall Festival, Winterfest, movies in the park, and they go on and on. So give you some of the numbers, some of the informational numbers on those things, interesting things. Our aquatics program, which currently just runs about 4.5, 5 months of the year, we employ 65 lifeguards. That's what it takes to make sure that we have enough coverage at those pools. So we've offered 200 swim lesson sessions and over 2,000 registrations. And those are the important parts. It's important kids know how to swim. We're a river community. So those are kind of where we start out at our, we do a lot of things fun, but we do a lot of foundational things as well. Our softball complex, which has been out there, almost 30 years now, 25 years. This year we'll host 23 tournaments out there, with a total of a little more than 1,300 games, and we'll bring in a little over $5 million to economic impact to the area. Plus, we do other league games and the high schools and other things out there as well. So big impact to the community. Lamson Cable Bridge Run, we just wrapped up 45 years with them last year. This year will be our 46th one. We had almost 2,000 participants. It's been higher in the past. We're slowly making a comeback since COVID, like probably all of us are. So, so far this year, we had almost 1,000 youth sports league participants. Preschool program, this has been one of our important areas we've been hitting too. A little over 400 preschool participants in our different sporties for shorties. I don't know, we come up with all sorts of names for them. So, and then adult sports leagues, that's our flag football, basketball, and things like that, almost 1,000 participants in that. And then our recreation manager, Brent Kabulik, excellent in getting grants. So he's about $275,000 in program grants this year. And some of those we'll talk about with, go directly to summer school programs. Some of those go to improving our parks and things like that. So lots going on there. Couple photos. There's our Lansing Cable Bridge Run last year. I was there as the Grinch. I was probably one of the warmer ones. It worked out. That was the only day the Grinch costume really worked out for temperature. So our 4th of July parade, Winterfest, which was something we expanded and moved to downtown, and then this is our Fall Festival here. So, and then some of the activities, this is our PK Runners Club. This is a youth cross-country team that actually our recreation manager coaches. Some of our non-traditional programs like kayaking, our after-school program there in the middle where we set up in the gym at City Hall, and of course our swim lesson program. All right, so next division is our park services, and they cover almost everywhere in the city as well. So we use 21 full-time staff year-round to maintain most of our parks, and then in the high season, summer, we bring on almost 22 part-time seasonal work May through October to keep up with the grass, the weeding, all the things growing in summer. So they're tasked with our overall maintenance and upkeep of the landscape, the playgrounds, the parks, the trails, the boat launches, sporting complexes, and boulevards. We also implemented for a second or third time a new park ranger program, which is dealing with community engagement, park patrol, shelter rental management. Those of you that haven't met Park Ranger Steve, he's pretty popular. He's also out in the area. He gives presentations to the kids at Mid-Columbia Library and some other things like that. So he's been a great addition for us. And then even park services. They help support special events like our sports tournaments. Prepping the softball fields for every weekend, keeping things up and running to standards is quite a task. They help prepare the park for boat races. They definitely help us with our parades, with traffic control and sign-in, setting up festivals, the tents at like Pasco Police Field Day. Those big tents are set up for ours, and of course Cable Bridge Run. And they even have their own special events well. They have their Washington State Arbor Day, or National Arbor Day, and Earth Day that they all participate, set up, and work on themselves. This one really resonated with me. We do get complaints. I won't go into details because some of those complainers might be you. Don't want to get too personal, but this one does come up quite a bit. Maybe not the sandwich, but yeah, a lot of things like that. So this one did resonate well. But some park services by the numbers. We do have 30 city parks currently, and we are adding to those as we continue to expand. I think all of you know that Pasco has not quit growing for 30 years. We've been under constant growth, so we're continuing expanding. 7 athletic complexes, which include our softball complex, Road 36 soccer, Road 48 soccer. We have a new A Street soccer going in over on the east side of town, our Highlands Park football fields. 49 playgrounds. That's a lot of playgrounds, a lot of playground equipment. Those have to be checked a couple of times a week for safety. So that's another program that the staff is out and inspecting those things to make sure they are safe for the kids to play on. Over 100,000 sprinklers. So for those of you at home that are fighting those 2 or 3 sprinklers with those brown spots in your yard, we have 100,000 of those sprinklers. And it takes quite a bit to know. If you're driving around wondering why is the grass brown here? We probably haven't seen that one yet. So if you come across those things, we do have something called Ask Pasco. We encourage you to download that, use it to report those errors, because quite honestly, it only takes a couple days for the grass to start browning and a lot longer to come back. So, but if you ever wonder why the grass is brown, well, we have 100,000 sprinklers to track down. 21 miles of paths and trailways. Those are included along the river, along the highways. We maintain, trim, manage those to keep those walkable and usable. 28 lineal miles of boulevards. So all the boulevards, the tree-lined boulevards with the grass, or as we're moving to more xeriscaping with the rock, we have 28 miles of those. Some of those are only 3 feet wide, some of those are 12 feet wide, but that takes about a crew of 12 all summer, every day long to keep those maintained and looking in good shape. About 280 prunable shrub beds, so you see those in the traffic circles, on the corners of parks and things like that. So, and then just for fun, 251 garbage cans. Those usually have to be emptied every day, if not every other day. So we have, we're keeping BDI busy. Rebecca, that's where all that trash is coming from. We're out there emptying those all the time. So. And then we are recognized as a Tree City USA, which means we meet the qualifications of adding, maintaining trees and putting a focus on those. Right now we have a little bit over 4,500 trees to maintain, 1 arborist, so we keep that guy busy. So. Some of the sport activities in the top left there, they're setting new goalposts out at Highlands Park. The traditional style you've normally seen, we had the old H style, which ended up being kind of dangerous for the kids playing football because they could run into the posts. We've been updating and adding a lot of the new water fountain, water bottle filler styles, of both ADA, and some of them even have pet bowls in some of the parks. Tree maintenance, again, with all the trees, we're constantly removing trees, replanting trees. And then one of the big projects we worked on this year, as this is at our softball complex, some major renovations out there. We've been scraping all the dirt off and replacing it with the same infield product that's used by the Tri-Cities Dust Devils, so it reduces dust, it improves play. So a lot of work going in there. We hope to have a feature on that soon, but that includes replacing the dirt, new misting systems, new drinking fountains, and several other upgrades to keep all those tournament directors happy and coming back. And then again, special events. We had 2 Arbor Day events. One of those we hosted over in Kersman Park, where we included the Head Start that's located there. So they had their kids come out, and we planted about 15 trees out there. Something more dangerous than that pocket knife is 15 kids with shovels. So we are working on figuring out how to do that. So that was an intense day. Also, they had to replant a couple of the trees, including the one that Adam and I planted. So it's even the adults don't get it quite right. So. And then we did the other one over at Highlands Park using Whittier Elementary second grade. So a lot of kids came out there and we planted an additional 15 trees. Here is the Middleton Farms grain train, which is usually used out at their services. They donated that for us to use down at our Winterfest, and our parks crew is nice enough and as skilled operators to drive those kids around. That was the term, right, Angela? Skilled operator? Yeah, so risk is always on our mind. And then our Winterfest program, which we moved from Volunteer Park to downtown last year. All this extra lighting and everything, the trees and everything you've seen, were all done kind of designed by our parks manager, Patrick, and then he turned his crew loose. So that was a really awesome event as well. So again, it ain't government work if you don't have to do it twice. So sometimes that's true, or sometimes it takes a long time to get that government work done. It's like turning a cruise ship. It's not on a dime. So you're wondering when, hey, I put in that Ask Pasco thing you told me, why isn't it happening? We're going to get to it, I promise. So. All right, next up is our facility services. Nine staff, 7 dedicated to facilities. Facilities also has a cemetery, so a cemetery customer service representative. And they're in charge of keeping all our offices up to date, are in running order. Our offices, our shops, our water and wastewater plants, not making water, making sure the facility is good enough to make water. We have a whole separate plant that makes water. So, our police and fire stations, which we've continued to add to, our pools and splash pads. So they have quite a bit to maintain. Again, also have the City View Cemetery, which is unique to many cities. It's one of the only regional City View cemeteries that we've had since like 1922. They include our burial services, memorial markers, reflecting area, and something new. It truly is a word, columbarium. I'm going to show you what that is, but it's a place for interred ashes, so you have another option. And they also do special events. Memorial Day service, Veterans Day service, Wreaths Across America are the 3 they primarily do. Wreaths Across America, first time last year. It was a big success. But some information about them, they maintain a little over 58,000 square feet of building space. So when you get to acres, you're talking like 12 square acres of buildings. So it's a ton of buildings to do. And that's for most, well, all the maintenance, most of it's in-house, but we do contract outside for some of those things. 2,100 work orders completed last year. You have to change your air conditioner filter every 3 months. We change our every 3 months. We just happen to have 1,200 we change every 3 months. So quite a volume of work, and even our parks, or even our facilities department works on saving costs where they can. They're able to convert a lot of our lights to LED and receive $20,000 of rebates from the PUD, so we appreciate that, Stu. You're up for election, yeah. We got you, yeah. Blanche too, sorry, Blanche, yeah, okay. She took my t-shirt cannon. I have to do something, so. Out the cemetery, sad but true, we do maintain just over 14,000 grave locations or sites, and those are ongoing. When somebody's buried there, those internal care we take care of. So whatever services you pay from here until the thing's full and forever, we're tasked with maintaining those. And we also just opened a pet memorial in our area. Kind of ties in with our animal shelter as well, but people lose pets regularly. They want to know what to do. Can they bury them, or what do they do? How do they remember them? So this is something we started offering this year as well that's been pretty popular. Again, another set of pictures. So there's our City View Cemetery and one of the shrub beds there. Oh, it's hard to see. Our columbarium is in the middle of that cylinder thing back there in the middle. So that's a place where your loved one can be interred, have their ashes placed instead of traditional burial. Facility staff, again, this is a full remodel they did of our HR area, including new office space and all the electrical and everything else needed there. And then this is part of our new navigation wayfinding sign project where we're trying to input some new standards citywide. So they actually designed and fabricated these signs in-house and installed them and put them in. So lots of good work going on there. And again, some of their special events, Memorial Day this year to the left, Wreaths of America last year down here in the bottom. So great events, kind of sad events, but they're really great events out there remembering our veterans and what they've given. All right, you never guess what's coming next. So, right, downtown. Just kidding. So we have our animal services. Animal services is new to us as fully managed and operating. Prior, the city was kind of managing the contract for animal services, but in the last 18 months, we've taken that over and fully assumed all daily operations and management of that. So we added 20 full-time staff to do so. Which includes our animal control officers, kennel techs, customer service, intake, Ben. And the Tri-State Animal Control Authority, if you don't know, it's comprised of Richland, Kennewick, and Pasco, so we agree to work together. We get to manage the animal shelter. Richland manages the dispatch center. Kennewick manages the police records information system, and none of them will trade with me, but that's okay. We've tried. And again, separate sections. So we have an animal control section, which is for our barking, loose, behavioral, injured, neglected animals. The animal shelter is then in charge of the care, intake, adoption, fosters, and medical services related to those. And I guess I should mention, Dee Dee is actually a shelter dog. She did come in an injured state, repairable, but due to her needs at the time, we decided she owed us, so she's working off her time. She should be good in about 20 years, so. And then we do a lot of community outreach and education. Ben visits the schools, talks about humane education, talks about what we do at the animal shelter. We also visit assisted living centers, go to job fairs, and again, Dee Dee, she's a big role here too. And they do quite a few special events themselves. We have a lot of animals coming in, so they host our, it's actually felines and firefighters. I got that wrong there, but thanks to Chief Kevin Crowley, who's sitting over here. He comes down. I might have got a picture of you, Chief. I'm not sure just yet. But they've come down. We do fur babies in the fuzz with our police department, PetSmart adoptions, and then we also partner with other agencies to do shot and chip clinics right there on site. So lots going on down there. A little bit of numbers there. So just January to June so far this year between cats and dogs, we've almost 1,500 intakes just in 6 months. So we'll definitely roll over that. So that's 3,000 animals that were once owned or somebody else's animal in the community that ends up in our shelter. So, and you'll see out of those, I think we got about 14, or where are we at here? About 700 of those adopted, cats, not very many redeemed, only 10. So I guess when you lose your cat, that's it. 176 redeemed. We transfer quite a few, almost 400 of those we transfer to different facilities that actually have a need for animals in the community. A lot of those go to Seattle Humane, and that helps us reduce those as well. And we do have some euthanasias. And I think as Ben stated it once before, high on the cats because they're just not as sturdy as a dog. So unfortunately, when they get injured, they tend to cease to exist, as we say. So. And then on the animal control, same thing, large volume. Just in the first 6 months, almost 2,100 calls for service. Animals at large, you can see 816, a lot of barking dogs, a lot of deceased on arrival. So those are the ones that are, unfortunately hit along the road, things like that. So, so just a lot going on down in animal control services. Of course, there's Dee Dee and her mile-long ears. At the top, I guess I didn't get Chief, sorry, but our firefighters and felines event, and then at the bottom, our police, fur babies, and the fuzz. All very popular, all community engaging, and help generate a lot of adoptions. And then this is just in the last, I think this was about 1 week's worth of adoptions. We were at max capacity a couple weeks ago. We put out a call to the community and said, hey, we're full, we're unable to take any more animals, so the community stepped up and all these were adopted. And some of these dogs have been here a long time. Like, how long was Rob Lowe here? Ben, do you remember? 6, 7 months Rob Lowe was there. So community engagement, outreach definitely helps get these animals adopted. I got a full stock of them, multiple varieties and sizes. Come on down, adopt an animal. We'd appreciate it. Get your picture put up here. All right, this one also applies too, so. It's a reality. It is, other than being the Department of Fun, it's only fun because we ignore all the other parts, but a lot going on. So again, not all of them apply, but yeah, people caring loudly, I get a lot of that, so. All right, and then our newest one, downtown services. I can't really say this is a division of Parks and Rec because it takes a lot. It's our economic development, Public Works has done a lot of work down there. We have our communications team heavily involved, but the part that we've picked up in downtown is the Pasco Specialty Kitchen. Which is a commercial commissary kitchen designed to help new restaurant businesses get started in the food services. It's been around about 20 years now, since 2003, so we thought it was important to continue that. Right now we have 21 clients, and they range from packaged food makers like rice kits or packaged rice meals. We have a Pie Sharks, they're making pies. We have Pal's Inferno Taco, who won the taco crawl contest last year. We have people that just prep for their food trucks. We have people that make ceviche. So a whole range of clients down there, which includes one storefront, which is where Pie Sharks currently is, and then 2 food service windows, which had clients in prior, and we're trying to refill those to give somebody else an opportunity to run that business. Farmers Market, which is where you'll find me most Saturdays as well. 26 Saturdays, May through October, plus special days. Felt the need to continue that. It helps vibrant downtown, provides healthy, fresh foods. We also take SNAP EBT at the farmers market, which is unique to the area. Not all markets do. And then we also have some special days, special event days as well. So we kind of, whether it's farmers market appreciation, kids zone day, and things like that, we try to keep it good. And then every weekend we have a musical entertainer. Nobody's failed, so I haven't had to sing for 2 hours yet, but there might be time, I don't know. So, and then again, a lot of special events we picked up. We have our Cinco de Mayo, our fiery foods. We tried something new last year called International Parking Day. That's where you take a parking space and convert it into a temporary park. So those can be experienced by those that aren't down there. So we had pickleball played right out in the middle of 4th Avenue, musical entertainment, ice cream sundaes, and food. It was a pretty good event. And then pending, and hopefully soon, we'll be doing a Lewis Street overpass grand opening, which I think is going to include a 1-mile fun one walk up and over the bridge and back. So we're looking to get that announced as soon as that construction wraps up. We'll see when that is, but we have some ideas for that as well. And then some downtown events. We have our Cinco de Mayo parade, which we had almost 60 entries. One of those entries was almost 80 horses in one entry, so a very large parade. That's me there again in my Grinch costume. One of these, the little girl on the right, this is kind of a special picture. She saw me at the after-school program out of Fairchild Cinemas, and then once again, she actually asked, "Is your heart finally 2 sizes bigger, Grinch?" So I'm still working on it. So, and then Cinco de Mayo, big hit. It was one of the biggest ones. We had over 10,000 people. It was our first 2-day event that we've done. So that was an amazing event as well. And then our lovely farmers market. We opened that up just a couple years ago after the big remodel. It really is a special area. It's really set up nice for festivals. The farmers market is really ideally suited for that in the downtown area. But collectively, we participate in over 200 events each year. So that's the number of events we touch. Some of those we just touch, like today here, I consider this event because I drug Alex along. So we might be just out giving a presentation. We do job fairs, community outreach, the parades, festivals, special events. We help with the groundbreakings and some of the ribbon cuttings. So maybe not full-on events like the 4th of July parade, but staff are definitely involved in helping those be a success. And this is the way I do feel. I do feel like we're winning with our community engagement. It makes me happy to see people come out. The little girl that I saw at all 3 of the events within a couple weeks' time, those are really awesome events, and that's kind of what makes it, the Department of Fun, when you know that you're doing something that isn't traditionally done, because again, public safety, police and fire, you have your public infrastructure, your streets, your water and stuff. So recreation plays an important part of that as well when those other things are running great. So a couple of our upcoming events. We have, again, Felines and Firefighters. That's coming up. Is it the 16th or the 19th, Ben? Now I'm confused. All right, it's this Friday. Ben messed it up today in the radio station too, so we're both guilty here. So Fire Foods Festival, September 14th. Don't know who picked your crawfish day, but you should have checked with us. We've been running it longer than you guys, so I guess we'll be competing for events. I am looking for somebody to come out and represent the chamber and the pepper eating contest, though, so if one of you want to step up and represent that day, it's only like 20 minutes of torture and you get your picture taken. So yeah, so Colin has that contact information. If you want to come out and represent the chamber, let me know. I'd appreciate it. We already have 5 or 6 other organizations. We're trying for 10. I think Steven's going to be eating for the port. Is that right? Buck? Buck. All right, so Buck. Yeah, so somebody will be. And let's see, we have our Fall Festival, October 12th. Spooky Hall, that's where we open up City Hall to have trick-or-treaters come down and walk through City Hall, get them acquainted with the government services so they understand what City Hall is, hand out a lot of candy. Probably have my t-shirt cannon back by then. Veterans Day out the cemetery. Winterfest again downtown, December 14th. Our Wreaths Across America, this will be our 2nd year doing that. So you could participate, help do cemetery cleanup, purchase a couple of wreaths to be placed. We're open to all those things. And then Lamps and Cable Bridge around the end of the year. And that's going to pretty much wrap us up for our main events the next couple of months. But these are big events. These are thousands of hours of work and a lot of effort and time and a lot of participation by the community too. A couple of current projects we have. I'll go through these. I think we're on not too bad a time. So Sounders, the soccer team, they have a organizational arm called RAVE, and we'll be hosting the 2026 World Cup. And one of their goals is to help implement futsal courts in communities that need them. So we partner with them. We'll be converting 2 of our basketball courts, one at Highlands and one at Kurtzman Park, into futsal courts. So those kids in those communities can take advantage of those. The Sounders and the Ray Foundation are actually coming out. They're going to bring out, I think, 400 soccer balls to deliver to the kids in the community. They provide some educational materials on how to use futsal courts and math and curriculum and things like that. So those are exciting to us. Highlands Park football, which is youth football fields over in the east side. Those are getting some major updates, including some restrooms, some new goalposts, and some other things. Memorial Park pool dome cover. This is a project that's been on the books since 2018, and it's a project to put an inflatable air dome over the pool during the winter months so that we can support our swim teams at the high school level, as well as do some regional swim meets and things like that. We're hoping that's going to be done by January, February, but I said that last year too. The dome's ordered. I did my part. Volunteer Park Tree Walk. This is something new that we partnered with where we're putting in tree markers down in Volunteer Park that identify those trees. We're working on an online virtual tour, so we have many different species of trees down there, so this will be live hopefully by the end of the year. Of course, the cemetery, columbarium, and pet memorial we talked about. One of the big projects that the community's been waiting for years and years, and I think it did start in 2009, so they're all right, is a new animal shelter. We're hoping to have that opened up by the end of the year. It's located adjacent to the current animal shelter, but will be a new modern facility, just slightly bigger than what we have now, but it'll include some things like commercial dishwashers, commercial washers and dryers to help us get those pets taken care of. And then A Street Soccer Complex. This is a phase 1, I should say, of A Street Soccer Complex over in the east side off of A Street, if you didn't guess that by now. But it's a 10-field overall project. We put the first 3 fields in, including adding LED lights, so one of the fields will be lit for evening play. We hope to open that up by next spring. It's currently built, the lights are almost in, but we need the grass to grow in. But lots of projects going on. And then several upcoming department projects as well. We're working with the designer to come up with a Broadmoor shoreline conceptual design. So we'll have a park out there in that Broadmoor area that represents the area. Pasco Aquatic Center Management, so the Public Facilities District has asked the city if we'd be interested in managing and operating the aquatic center, which we think aligns well with what we do in our current memorial pool and the dome cover. So we are getting ready to finalize that. So we will actually be running that aquatic center, which I think is great. Out at our cross-country course, out Road 36 by the airport, we'll be adding a mountain bikes trails course or skills challenge course out there. And then working on the Martin Luther King Center renovation, which is primarily being led by our Public Works Engineering Department, but we are acting as a client or owner of that building, so we're putting in some of our ideas forth of what we'd like to see in there as well. All right, and this is good for me too. I think this is what makes me run. You know, when you're passionate about making your city the best it can be. Pasco, I think for a lot of years, Pasco's never been considered the top city. We're the lesser of the cities, but I think we're really turning that corner. I think we've been turning it for a while, and it's not that we need to be better than every other city, but we probably do. So that's really where we're working, and that's where Parks and Rec things. When things are going well in public safety and water's being delivered and the roads are great, people look for their community. They look for parks. They look for things to do. So that's what's important to me is making Pasco the best it can be with as many opportunities as we can provide. All right, so I know you've been asking yourself, well, how can we be part of the fun or have our cool logo next to the Pasco one in the next batch of knives we order? So a couple options here. You can coach youth sports. That's actually how I started the city. I was a youth sports coach prior to being a work study student. You can teach a class. You can develop an activity. Do you have interests you think somebody else would know? Come talk to us. We can maybe implement that. You can visit our after-school program. We have a lot of kids in there looking for direction in life. They're interested in what goes on. Come down and give a 10 to 15-minute visit. Talk to what you do at your work. You can assist with an event, either individually or as a group. You can adopt a park. That's a program that's been dormant since COVID, but we are renewing. So if you'd like to adopt a park and help clean it up or add improvements to that, love to have you. Or you can sponsor an event or program, and that's where you help make our events bigger than they are. We budget for the general idea of what we need, but any additional sponsorships really help enhance that and make it over the top. So, and some of our recent sponsors, and some of you are here. I'd suggest, based on looking at Edison's face here, that anybody else that has a logo, you better add your face quick because he's coming out ahead. All right? Don't miss the opportunity. But These cross all of our events, and we appreciate all of them, whether a big event or small event or multiples. It's really great to be able to partner, feature you as a business, and make those projects better and make those events affordable and accessible and inclusive for everyone. And I guess we come to the end. So. All right, so with that, I got a couple minutes. Do you have any questions? I think I have 4. It's good timing, so. And you don't have to ask any. I'm good. All right, Buck. Yes, you have to at least eat the banana pepper.
As the current chair of Visit Tri-Cities, as Pasco resident, and as a father of many active kids, I'd like to specifically thank you, Adam, your staff, and the council members that are here for the work you've done on opening up the Pasco Soccer Complex to more community teams. We finally get to host our Labor Day soccer tournament at that complex. There's going to be about 120 to 130 teams. So bringing all of that economic development to Pasco and to that HAPO Center area, I think is very important for the city. So as we move forward, that Pasco Soccer Complex really is something to be proud of, because there's not many in the community everywhere we've traveled and played that has a lot of potential to bring a lot of good things to the city. So thank you for your work on that for all of you. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, very good. Well, thanks for letting me work through this first run of the presentation. I see some adjustments I'll make for the paying customers, but for now, I think it was a great one. Thank you.
You didn't want your Pringles? You're not allowed to have the Pringles anymore? All right. Thank you so much, Jess, for that great introduction of what you guys are doing to make Pasco better. Also want to thank the Red Lion for hosting us today, PSC-TV for filming the luncheon.